Hey guys, Meteorologist Chris Tomer here on this Friday, this Valentine's Day. This is going to be a fun update because we are hip deep in this storm system. Major storm hitting the Sierra. This is Mammoth, California, up there in the Sierra, and you are just getting hammered this morning with heavy snow and high winds. Blinding winds at times. Look at that main lodge down at the Canyon Lodge. They're trying to get things ready on the Woolly Cam at the main lodge, but man, it is still snowing and blowing. Reporting 34 to 55 inches of new snow in roughly the last 24 to 36 hours. So this storm hit and it just continues to hammer right now. 34 to 55 inches of new snow, if you can get there. I pulled up some of the observations. At the very top of the mountain off Chair 1, max gust 134 miles per hour, so triple digit winds. Sustained winds when that happened of 100 miles per hour. That is intense. That's like being in a hurricane with snow. Right now, the winds are bouncing between 60 and 85 mile per hour as far as gusts. So it is still nasty and coming down. In Colorado, this is Steamboat up at the top of the gondola. 7 to 8 inches of new snow in the last 24 hours. Every once in a while, a big gust of wind will come across. I still think. So here's the thing. There's a second wave that's going to come through later in the weekend, which will add to the totals. Between this storm and that second wave, I still think you've got 14 to 16 inches of additional snow yet to go up there at the Steamboat area in Colorado. All right, let me just go to a couple of other spots. So this is Wolf Creek in southern Colorado. And I mean, it's just coming down. It's windy, it's snowing, it's blowing. You picked up 6 inches in the last 24 hours, but you've still got probably 2 feet to go across Wolf Creek. Just kind of getting started. And another place that's just getting started is Jackson Hole, reporting 7 inches in the last 24 hours. I still think you have got about 30 inches to go, 24 to 30 inches to go. You've got this storm, which is continuing, but you've also got a second wave to come through later in the weekend. So another 24 to 30 up there at Jackson Hole. Aspen Snowmass. This is Aspen Highlands. I believe 9 inches of new snow in the last 24 hours. Looking really good up there. And you've probably got another 18 to 20 inches to go up there across the West Oaks. In Utah, 7 to 10 inches of new snow up there. This is Solitude, and it's obviously coming down. You've got another 20 to 30 inches of accumulation up there. And Little and Big Cottonwood Canyons and up the I-80 corridor. Here's radar across the west. It's snowing. You've got orographic, you've got storm snow across the Tetons, across Idaho, the Wasatch, the Hyuenas, Colorado. There's your snow in California. You've got snow up in Washington and Oregon. I mean, this is pretty widespread stuff. Here's Colorado snow, nailing the western slope in southwest Colorado in particular, but there is overrun into Summit County and across the Front Range high peaks. Heavy snow moving right across the Wasatch with more moisture upstream. That'll hit later. In Wyoming, again, just getting started. Rich flow of moisture hitting the Tetons, Yellowstone, and off into the Wind Rivers. Here is the setup here on water vapor. So oranges and reds on this are your drier air in the lower levels, and then your whites and blues, that's going to be your moisture. And there's our storm system right here coming out of California. So that's what's nailing a lot of the Intermountain West. It's a big storm system. And guys, look what is behind it. Another storm system. So that's going to roll in to many of the same areas between 216 and 218. So that's going to that's that second wave. That's that second storm system. And look behind it. Boom, another storm system. The flow is going to remain active for sure. All right, here are my bullet points. Pretty simple stuff. Powder weekend. Today's powder, tomorrow's powder, Sunday, Monday, all powder days. The second storm system comes in around 216, somewhere between 216 and 218 for a lot of the Intermountain West. So that'll keep things rolling. Here's my snow timeline. Best odds of new snow. Take the video off so you can see it. In Big Sky, you've got snow continuing today, and then moderate on 15 and heavy 216, 217. In the Wasatch, you've got snow continuing into 215, into the morning of 215. So you've got pretty much an all-day snow to go today. That's where I think we're going to pick up these big accumulations of 20 to 30 inches. And then the second wave comes in on 216, 217 with light to moderate additional accumulations. And the Tetons, we just keep on rolling into 215, and then the second wave comes in afternoon 216, 217, 218 with additional heavy accumulations. That's where I get these big grand totals. Colorado, you've got snow today into tomorrow, and then another little shot with that second wave on 217. So you can kind of see what's happening. I won't go through all these. Tahoe, your snow is basically this morning. The remainder of your snow, and then it's going to start to dry out. The winds will settle down. In the Northeast, your next good snow is afternoon 215 to 216 with heavy accumulations. All right, one time height here in Colorado. This is for Breckenridge. I'm looking for green on this. That's going to be your higher relative humidity values, your moisture essentially, and we're going to lift that over the terrain features and squeeze it out. And we're in the green here in Breckenridge, all the way from right now for the next 72 hours. That's a 72-hour forecast through all the vertical layers. So we've got good moisture at the top of the high peaks, ridge lines, all the way up through the atmosphere. In fact, that particular model in Breckenridge, it cranks out about 16 to 17 inches of snow between now and 217. So we've got heavy snow tonight, and then it kind of tapers a little bit overnight to light snow, and then there might be a little surge tomorrow afternoon. And then that second wave comes in, afternoon 216 into 217, and that's how we reach that grand total in Breckenridge of 16, 17, 18 inches. Let's drill down. So this is going to be Alta, Utah, the forecast mediagram for about 9,000 feet. So this continues to generate snow today, tonight, and early tomorrow. But it's missing this second wave, which I do think is going to be a factor between 16 and 17. So it kind of misses that. So the number's a little bit light, but it's still healthy. We're cranking out winds of 30 to 40 miles an hour throughout this event, maybe up to 50 tomorrow. And air temperatures up there at 9,000 in the low to mid 20s all day today. And then the temperatures fall dramatically tomorrow into the single digits. This still has about 24 inches of snow yet to go, but that doesn't account for that second wave, which it kind of misses. So that's where I am going to be forecasting up to 30 inches of additional snow in Little and Big Cottonwood Canyons. That's how I arrive at that. All right, let's go up to Wyoming. This is the Jenny Lake corridor. This is at about 86 to 8,700 feet. So this has got pretty much snow all day today, this afternoon, tonight. A little bit of a break tomorrow during the midday, and then that second storm system, which is significant for the Tetons, comes in on the 16th and continues on the 17th, and this has at least 2 feet of accumulation. If this could go out a little bit further, the number would be even bigger. Winds are running 30 to 40. Air temps today top out at 24 and much colder tomorrow on Saturday in the single digits. The bottom line is, in both of the Tetons and the Wasatch, we have at least 2 feet of snow yet to go in a lot of these places, the resorts. All right, jet stream forecast. Man, you can see that big trough, the big dip in the jet across the west. That's supporting our storm system. This is lunchtime today. Late today, early tomorrow morning, the storm system in the trough digging through northern parts of New Mexico, Colorado, and the rest of Wyoming. Then it moves out and becomes a big storm system for the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. Everything moves west to east. And then in the flow, this is late Sunday, the 16th, the next storm drops into the Pacific Northwest, northern tier, and then it digs down into Utah, Wyoming, and also Colorado. This is late on the 17th right here. And then that moves through the Four Corners and then out. And that's not it. This is late on the 19th. The next storm system hits the Pacific Northwest, drops into the interior, and then that moves out into the plains and becomes another storm system for the Northeast. It's just one right after another. Snow accumulation over time. We'll start this at about lunchtime today. Remember on this, the light blues correspond to under 3 inches. The greens are 3 to 6. Yellows are 6 plus. Reds are 10 plus. So even at lunchtime today, this is still indicating heavy snow over the Sierra, but then it fades and it drops off this afternoon. The snow quits. Heavy snow through the Wasatch, the Tetons, especially western and southwest Colorado, Arizona Snow Bowl, moving into parts of northern New Mexico, snow up and down Oregon as well in the high peaks, the high volcanoes. Okay, here we are late today. Still snow continuing across a lot of the Intermountain, but some of that energy is already moving up into parts of the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes. Um, Look at that leftover snow in the Wasatch all the way into tomorrow morning. Um, Snow left over in Colorado. Moderate to heavy snow for the Northeast. This is early on Sunday the 16th. Wow, that's going to be a good storm right there on the 16th for the Northeast. Look to the west. Here comes our second wave. This is the storm that will bring snow into the second half of the President's Day weekend. Drops down from the Pacific Northwest into Montana, Idaho, the Tetons, and this is late on Sunday. Here's early Monday the 17th. So it's brushing the Wasatch. It's brushing the central to northern mountains of Colorado with additional snow accumulation. Here's late on Monday the 17th. And then that storm drops out into the plains and develops into a storm for the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic, and the East Coast. And then here comes the next storm across a lot of the West, dropping into Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, and it's kind of a smaller storm through late on February 20th. Okay, my official numbers, the remainder of today through the 17th, again, another 20 to 30 inches. That's still what remains for the Wasatch. And very similar for the Tetons, about 20 to 30 inches of additional accumulation by late on the 17th. In Colorado, still great snow yet to go. A lot of places at least a foot, some places up to 20 inches of additional accumulation. Wolf Creek, you've got 24 yet to go. So big stuff. I mean, it's powder today, it's powder tomorrow, it's powder Sunday, it's powder Monday. Northern New Mexico, a foot. Things will start to taper, especially this afternoon in the Sierra. The winds will settle down, but probably another 4 to 8 inches of accumulation there. Another foot up there on Shasta. In the Pacific Northwest, again, you've got the existing storm, and then you've got the second one that rides in for later in the weekend with potentially a couple of feet over Bachelor and Timberline, less as you go north. 6s through a lot of interior BC, 4 to 8 through Idaho, potentially a foot up there in parts of northwest Montana, and 13 to 16 over Big Sky and Bridger Bowl. So excellent numbers there. Up in the Northeast, there you go. Potentially another 8 to 14 through Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. 15 to 16 through Snow Ridge and Whiteface, and then less in Massachusetts. But this is still great. You've still got powder days ahead in the forecast for the Northeast. And I think I detailed those dates. If not, in the Northeast, your next best storm is afternoon 2:15 into 2:16. All right, guys, we're going to end on the big western map here again. The rest of today through the 17th, we're still in it. We're hip deep all the way through President's Day weekend with several bullseyes here. Enjoy it. Be safe out there. And we'll keep things updated here. Have a great day, guys.